According to unfortunate but true research published by the New York Times, an estimated 93% of our children are going to be exposed to pornography. 93%. And that's a bad stat. And if you're out there and you're an entrepreneur, you're a proactive person. You're a solution-oriented person. You're a person who wants to solve problems. You just don't want to know about problems. You want to solve the problems. So in this world filled with digital dangers, what are you to do? What am I to do? How are we? I'm a father of 5 kids. How are we going to protect our kids from the threats that are invading our homes and polluting the minds of our children? Well, on today's show, we interview the son of the Focus on the Family Institute, Dr. James Dobson's son, Ryan Dobson. Because Ryan Dobson is not only the son of Dr. James Dobson, but he's the founder of Home Safe, which is an organization committed to protecting your family from those digital dangers and so much more. He also shares why if you raise your kids, you can spoil your grandkids. But if you spoil your kids, you'll end up raising your grandkids. All this and more on today's interview with Ryan Dobson.
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here.
Oh, yes. Yes, and yes, Dr. Z, it is always ecstasy when you are next to me. But on today's show, we're going to another level.
Yes.
We're going to a whole, we're taking this show.
A new dimension, probably.
We're taking this show from a solid level 9.
Yeah, there you go.
To a 12.4.
Oof. That's
Ryan
a big jump.
Dobson, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I appreciate. Was that a Drake intro?
Oh man, that is check this out.
Well done.
You're from the Christian world, so you know about Colton Dixon. He's a top 40 Christian music artist. That's Colton Dixon singing the hooks. That's me breaking down books and rhymes, and that's Dr. Z right there, just being beautiful on the on the Drake remix.
I've
there.
got a face for radio. That's why I do so well on those.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Now
Good stuff. Thanks for having me on, you guys. I appreciate it.
You bet. We're excited.
This is the first show we've ever gone to a 12.4 on.
I'm excited.
We've talked about 12.3.
I hope we can handle it.
I'm excited. So let's talk about you, Mr. Ryan. You're the son of Dr. James Dobson, who founded Focus on the Family. Can you talk to us? What was it like growing up in a home where your father is, Dr. James Dobson? Were you focused on the family?
I wasn't. I'm sure he was, for sure. It's an interesting question. I get that a lot. I don't really know how to answer it because it would be like saying, what was it like to grow up in your family? I think it was like most families until his big film series came out in the late 70s. And then early 80s, it really kicked off. 100 million people saw the Focus on the Family film series.
Wow.
And I'm sure that changed lots of stuff for us. I can remember it, he got famous. What can I say? It was very interesting. But I've got great parents, so yeah, I'm following in the footsteps, I guess. I never dreamed I'd do this. I thought I was going to go into politics and got into family ministry.
So when he got real famous, did your Christmas presents take a big jump up? I mean, did you go from socks to a new car? I mean, something like that?
No. Yeah, I'll be honest. My parents are for sure not that. They do not believe in, and here's the truth. I'm so glad they didn't, because I didn't know my parents were wealthy until way later in life. I mean, in the 70s, 80s, he had 7 of the top 10 bestsellers at one time.
Yeah,
I mean, he was selling more books than anybody was. No one's ever done that before or since. But they were not like that. And it would have ruined me. I can't imagine it would have ruined me. If he'd just given me everything I wanted, I would have just been
That's
ruined.
a good word. You see kids that get that, and they often are not what they could be.
So
Yeah, you know what? I see this on Instagram. It says, if you raise your kids, you can spoil your grandkids. But if you spoil your kids, you have to raise your grandkids.
Oh, that's a good word.
Repeat that one more time. I'm taking notes right here. If you what now?
If you raise your kids, you can spoil your grandkids. But if you spoil your kids, you're going to have to raise your grandkids.
Oof. Oof. Oof.
Devin, are you taking notes of this, my friend? This is like, see, sometimes I get stuck on these great things, and I have to hear it 3 times. And I hate to do this. I mean, I listen to a lot of T.D. Jakes, who's the master of repetition. So can you say it one more time? Devin's taking notes. I'm going to end up getting like a tattoo. See, I'm going to embroider this on my forehead. That's how hot this is.
I think you should.
Can you repeat this just one more time? I just want to really soak it in here. Here we go.
If you raise your kids, you can spoil your grandkids. If you spoil your kids, you'll have to raise your grandkids.
Devin, you got that? That is good. That is some really, really
hot
good
sauce.
stuff. Oh,
I wish it was mine. That's an Instagram quote. I'm positive, but it's still true for sure.
Oh man, you're
probably from Al Gore. I mean, he brought us the internet. He brought us pretty much everything.
Right,
exactly,
right now the show's already gone from a 9 to a 10. Just with that right there.
That right there.
Now you could have said, you know what? I come from a family that's done well, and I'm just gonna kind of mail it in. And a lot of people do that, unfortunately. But you decided to go out there and to build your own thing. And you built this new church-based program called Home Safe that I understand that it trains parents on how to protect their kids from all of the crazy dangers that exist in today's world. Again, it's called Home Safe. What is Home Safe?
Yeah, here's the truth. All these things that exist today did not exist for our parents. The internet didn't exist for our parents. They didn't know how to talk to us about internet and internet porn or child predators or online predators or mass shootings, things like that. They just didn't happen like they do today. So as parents today get frozen, you think, oh my goodness, there's so much out there. What do we do? No one ever taught me about this. And it's like, yeah, because they didn't have to. It didn't exist before. And I've got a podcast I do with my wife called Rebel Parenting. It's all marriage, all parenting every week. And we started getting more and more emails and comments on Facebook and Instagram like, hey, I mean, how do we talk to our kids about sex? How do we tell them that there's online porn without freaking them out? How do we bridge this topic with our kids without, traumatizing them and traumatizing us and yet still protecting them? And then we started really getting lately in the last 6 months to a year, a lot of comments about active shooters. And I realized when you're watching TV, no politician, no talk show host, no newscaster is ever talking about what to do if you find yourself in an active shooter situation. Everyone talks about gun control, either tightening or loosening gun control, but no one talks about what to do. And so we started going to churches, teaching families, how do you best protect your kids? How do you put up the safeguards you can do what you can to protect your kids? Now, will you protect them from everything always? No, but you're really going to do your best. And that's what parents want to do. They want to give it the best shot they can.
See, I'm going to take this show. We're going to a 10, but I kind of have to take it down to like a 1. Before we go back up to that 11.4, the elusive 11.4. Internet content, adult content. So many of our listeners are 30s and 40-year-old entrepreneurs, business owners, small business owners with kids. How bad of a problem is it? And just rip the Band-Aid off. How big of a problem is, because back in the day, Z, remember this? Remember the 80s, Z?
Oh,
in the 80s,
do I remember the 80s.
We all had a friend, and his friend, his name was Bobby.
We had the perm in the back of his head.
Or Billy.
A perm in the back
of his head. He had like a rat
tail
or a perm. His name was, had a jean jacket. He was into Guns N' Roses. And he had a magazine that he got at the dirty store.
Or he stole it from his dad.
But he had to go to the dirty store to get it. The temptation was at least several awkward conversations away. He had to go someplace else physically. Now it's a touch away, and it's being pushed at you. Kanye West talks about this. It's being pushed
That's
at
exactly
you.
Right.
How dangerous is
it? Honestly, it's really crazy. We started asking ministries, and I'm talking about just regular ministries, not ones that specifically deal with addiction to pornography or pornography problems, just regular ministries that do, events for men, weekends away, enrichment, things like that. We started asking, what's the percentage of men that come through your organizations that struggle with porn? And it's well over 80%. It's well over 85%. And from the churches we've been working with and the organizations we've found, it's at least 85% of all marriages struggle with this. And that's one of the reasons why it's not being talked about in church. I mean, think about a pastor. He's got to lead a congregation spiritually, lead them through the Bible. He's got to raise funds. He's got to do all these things. Can you imagine for him to get up in front of a congregation being like, just so you know, 8.5 out of 10 of your marriages struggle with pornography. And every single couple immediately looks at each other being like, you better be that 2%, buddy.
you're
Better not be
on a
you.
row of 10 people, and you're looking left, you're looking right, going.
And I had a bad, funny thing. And Devin, I don't know if you can vouch for the story if you were aware of it or not. But we had a person who came to a conference a while back, and this guy comes to the conference, well-intentioned, okay, and he says, Clay, I need help starting this company. I said, what's the company? He says, the company is going to be a company that helps men who struggle with adult, pornography, that is, struggle with adult content, and I want to help them break the addiction. And I said, okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, and I said, what's the plan? He says, what I'm going to do is you pay me $10 a month. Okay.
All right.
And I'm going to post on your social media accounts every day that you have broken the cycle. So you're going to take a commitment, and I'm going to post on your social media day 1 of the challenge begins. And he calls it the challenge.
The challenge.
And then day 2 and day 3. And I said, so you're saying to me, if I pay you $10,
$9.99 actually.
you're going to go and put everyone I know on blast and say, hey, LinkedIn friends, this is day 1 of the adult content free pledge.
Clay Clark.
There we go. And he didn't understand why
That
people
wouldn't sell.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Shocking.
Shocking. But talk to me about this. I mean, how do you even bring it up, my man? How do you do it?
With Kids is a great resource. We talk about it all the time on the program. We talk about it on my podcast and at Home Safe. It's called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures, and they've got one called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures Junior. And you read it to your kid. It's a script. Parents don't know what to say. They don't know how far they should go, how specific they should get. It's a book. It's super cheap. It's on Amazon. You can get it in, with Prime in 2 days. Read it to your young kids. Read it to your junior high kids, and have a plan. Honestly, I've said this a bunch of times. I went to my then 12-year-old. He's now 13. Right when he turned 12. And I said, there is an 87% chance someone is going to show you porn this year. And he was like, what? Why? Now, he doesn't specifically know what porn is, but he generally does. And I can tell you, here's how we stumbled upon it. We were watching Spider-Man Homecoming. I could punch Spider-Man in the face for this one. Spider-Man Homecoming. We're watching the movie because we love the Marvel Universe. And Spider-Man's out doing the Spider-Man thing, and his friend, the guy in the chair, is back in the high school computer science lab, on the computer helping Spider-Man out. And a teacher bursts in and goes, what are you doing? And he goes, looking at porn. And the whole theater laughed. And I just thought, oh, you got to be kidding me. Now I know what I'm going to talk about on the way home tonight. Sure enough, on the way home, Dad, what's porn? I was like, oh, thanks, Spider-Man.
Thanks,
So
Spider-Man.
stoked.
Spider
Spider-Man.
senses, yeah.
Oh, good.
So
Generally, we talked about it. At that time, I told him it's naked people online or in books and magazines. And he was like, what? Why? And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter why. It matters that it is. And so he understands generally what that is. And when he turned 12, I told him, I go, hey, listen, if you stumble upon this, if you're online and you search something and something bad comes up, if someone tries to show it to you, if you're at someone's house and they turn it on, if you'll leave and come to me, I'll give you $200.
Would you do that with me too?
Yeah. He goes, what? And I go, is that not enough? And he goes, no, Daddy, no. And I was like, sucker, I would have given you more. But he doesn't understand what pornography is. He doesn't understand the addictive nature of it. He doesn't understand how big of a deal this is, but I do. And any man that struggled with porn wishes when they stumbled upon it, they had a dad that would be there for them to say, hey, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to get you through this. We're going to be there. Not get angry. Parents always get mad. Why do you get mad? Well, what were they doing online? What were they doing online? Who cares? The fact is something happened, and when they mess up, you want to have open arms. Let them come to you. when they screw up. Now he hasn't gotten the $200 yet. I'm afraid one of his friends is going to take the hit, and all of his friends are going to get $200, and one kid's going to get in trouble. But so far, they're pretty good kids. No one's done it.
So talk to me about this. On a practical level, how does your organization, Home Safe, help people with protecting their families from specifically their kids stumbling upon internet content? And then I'd also like to get your take on a bigger perspective. Do you hold out any hopes at all about legislation or anything changing with the way that Google operates where certain content will ever be filtered?
Great questions. Okay, so one, if your family struggles with pornography, what we talk about at Home Safe is filtering software. We've tried all of them. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say Net Nanny is garbage, but Net Nanny is garbage. Don't spend your money on Net Nanny. Oh my gracious, it doesn't work most of the time. It's super expensive. It's hard to install. The people at Covenant Eyes, covenanteyes.com, have a great piece of software. It works on virtually every computer. It doesn't work on Google Chromebooks yet, but they're working day and night to get it to work on all systems. Covenant Eyes is a great filtering program. And then what to do. Jeffrey Dean has a book called Raising Successful Teens, and there is an amazing chapter. It's the best resource. I think it's chapter 11, and it's a step-by-step plan on what you can do if your child struggles with pornography. Step-by-step. We give it out all the time. It's the greatest resource out there. Jeffrey Dean, Raising Successful Teens, and Covenant Eyes. And we do that in every Home Safe seminar. I don't get any money for that, by the way. I don't care. I mean, Covenant Eyes, if you use the code Rebel Parenting or Rebel, I forget which one, you get a free month, and then I get a kickback from it. But it's still the best software out there. We used it before I was getting the kickback.
Ryan, did you check out Bark? I was just talking to my brother. I was just talking to my brother today. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's your take on Bark?
Yeah. We use multiple things. We use Circle Home Plus and Covenant Eyes, and I do recommend Bark as well. We just started having a relationship with them. They're a great piece of software too. They really do a good job.
Do you any code for them to get a free month, or because I know it's $10 a month? Okay,
no, it's still a good organization though. It doesn't matter if I get anything or not. Bark is a great
I know.
Definitely recommend that.
I have and again, it's not going to happen probably, but this is just this is how I would solve the problem. I think I would love to see somebody such as a president take this stance. But any site that had any adult content at all, I think that the domain should have to be, instead of .com, it's .xxx. And then basically when you have internet cable at your house or you have internet of some kind, you just can't get .xxx sites unless you pay for a premium service. So you'd have to decide right there when you sign up for your cable or internet, do I want to be able to view that content? And I think it would just make life easier for families, but that's not going to happen anytime soon, or maybe not. Is there any legislation coming down the pike or any way that you're tackling this on a bigger, because again, on the very practical level at the home, this is powerful advice, but what are you doing? Is there anything happening that's going to change the way that search engines work at all? That's any legislation floating around there?
I think it's a great question. I'm not sure of anything specific right now. I do think it's a matter of time. I think it's just a matter of time because it's going to be a public health problem. You're having so many marriages get destroyed by it. It is definitely addictive. My dad foresaw this way back in the mid-'80s. He was on the Attorney General's Commission to study pornography in the 80s. And this is when you had to find it or, either in the woods or a back alley or under your dad's, bed or hidden in a dresser somewhere. It was not targeted to men. It's being sent to men every single day, men and boys, online every single day. It's being targeted. I think it will become a public health issue in the next 5 to 10 years, and I think something will be done about it because, and all of it comes from abuse. That's the other part. All of it comes from abuse. Someone's being abused every time pornography is produced, and we're finding that more and more as well.
Well, Starbucks on November 29th of 2018, Devin, put a link to this real quick on the show notes, but Starbucks.
Oh, that's right.
Starbucks actually started, Starbucks is obviously a very left of center organization. They started blocking pornography from their stores. And what's really crazy is this is some crazy stats here for you. I love to look at research and stats and to see what's going on with our culture. Well, in America today, it's something like I'll find the stat in just a minute, but it's something like a third of all adult content is looked at during the workday by employees. So,
Yep.
what are business
Organizations
owners?
ought to be blocking it from their internet servers. I mean, here's the crazy part. Think about this. There had to be so much porn being watched at Starbucks, they had to do something about it. That's bananas. I mean, who's watching it in a Starbucks?
Here we go. Here it is.
Such
This
a
is
crazy thing.
It's crazy.
This is the article is called "I Crazy." It's the cover story from Newsweek, and the Newsweek cover story again called "I Crazy" revealed that 1/4 of employees who use the internet during work visit porn sites on a daily basis. 1/4.
Wow.
25%? Are you kidding me?
No.
That's nuts. And by the way, so many organizations are going to catch you doing that and fire you. Like, I mean, most organizations have, if not filtering software, at least they've got something that tells them what
detection
sites you're
software. Right,
visiting.
yeah.
I mean, it's totally open to them.
Now, here's another crazy deal here for you. Again, we talk about this epidemic. This is some crazy stats I'm throwing out here. I try to get prepared for today's show. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention showed that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men were sexually abused before the age of 18.
Oh, my goodness. It's terrible.
And that stat, why am I sharing that? Because the pornography leads to that sort of stuff as being
that's right.
normalized. So I want to make sure we have time to talk about this. In a world where violence is everywhere, we're becoming we're desensitizing our kids to violence and to sexuality. What can a parent do? Give us the action steps. What can we do?
Put a filtering software on your internet. I mean, first and foremost, put filtering software right there, and then have a plan for when it happens, because it will happen. 97% of kids, by the time they reach 18, have seen online pornography. 97%. So don't get rid of the internet. That's not going to work. It's going to make it more tempting to them to go to someone's house and look at the internet. But put a filtering software on there, and then have a plan for when it happens. Talk to your kids ahead of time. Read Bad Pictures, Good Pictures, Bad Pictures, and Good Pictures, Bad Pictures Jr. Dr. Jim Burns has a great series on talking to your kids about sex that we talk about on the Home Safe program. Talk to your kids early. Talk to them often. Will it be awkward? Yeah, for you. But if you do it early with your kids, it won't be as awkward as they get older and older. And then they know they can go to you when something bad happens. I mean, so many of my kids' friends, parents have now adopted. Most of them are doing the $100 rule.
Yep.
I did $200. I went high on that one, but
You're
hey, I don't
You're
care.
baller.
$100, $50, whatever
baller.
that currency is for your kid. Make sure they come to you when it happens.
What is the website that people can go to today to learn more about Home Safe and your podcast? Where do you want our listeners to go to find more information about Home Safe and your podcast?
Home Safe, I put on with our sponsor, Cove Home Security, and they're at covesmart.com. Our website is homesafeseminar.com. And we've got a video there on what to do during an active shooter situation. I mean, that church in Texas, had it not been for their security, can you imagine what would have happened? Only 25% of churches anywhere in America have security at all.
Tell us about
that
this.
one just happened to be trained.
Tell us about this about this story, because many of our listeners don't know that story.
Oh, in White Settlement, Texas, there was some guy that had numerous problems in the community. He was given ushers problems before the service started. In the middle of the service, he gets up, he's harassing an usher, and he pulled out a shotgun and shot 2 people before one of the church security guards shot him and killed him. 3 people died that day, including the gunman. But had those by the way, don't watch the video. It's so disturbing.
Man.
But the guy that took out the gunman, I mean, that was a 1 in a million shot. I mean, it's 50+ feet away. Who knows how hard that guy's trained for that shot. But had he not been there, had the rest of those guys not been there, what would have happened? I mean, no one in the church knew what to do. If you've seen the video, at the end of it, no one's leaving. No one leaves. No one does anything. They don't hide behind anything big. They don't leave. There's all kind of half hunched over staring at what's going on because they weren't trained. It's not to make you paranoid, but it's to make you prepared if something happens. You got to know your surroundings. You know, it's situational awareness. Where are the entrance? Where are the exits? If something bad happened, where would I go? What would I do? How would I protect my family? And you've got to protect your family.
Z, on a lighter note, you and I have practiced a lot for what to do whenever we have a guest who takes the show to an 11.4 We've
Yes.
done a lot of practicing.
We've done a lot of
Kind of
drills.
some emergency
A lot of drills.
exercises.
A lot of drills.
So if you'll go ahead and call the play, the code word, then I'll
Yeah.
go ahead and do what I've been prepared and trained to do.
You
It's
ready?
on a lighter note here. Yeah. Go for it.
Omaha.
Holy cow!
There we go.
Holy cow! Holy cow!
Oh, yeah. I feel safer already.
Holy
There we go. Come on now.
Holy
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Uh-huh.
See, and now,
Oh, yeah.
for emergency precautions, get out the cowbell. Make that cowbell happen. Make that thing talk.
Get out the megaphone. We've got the founder of HomeSafe on the Drive Time Show. Check him out. It's Ryan Dobson right here on the Drive Time Show on your radio and podcast download.
See, that's preparedness. We weren't paranoid, but we were prepared.
That's right.
Prepared. The pears were
The pear
done before the show.
The partridge in the pear tree.
Ryan, I appreciate you. I'm sorry to take your life to a 1.2.
Oh, it was awesome. I appreciate it. It was a great show.
Oh.
Dude, you're awesome, and what you're doing is awesome, and I applaud that. And I just say, go keep it up, keep up the good work. I tell you what, parents need what you are giving, and
Yes, absolutely.
And I tell you what, it's awesome. I mean, you're following your father's footsteps in that regard, and that is very honorable and just incredible. You know, you see generation after generation that kind of drop off, and then yet. It's just so cool to see the second generation of a very successful man just kind of take the ball and say, you know what, I'm going to run down the field a little bit too.
It's impressive.
It is impressive, and I just applaud you for that. And I know there's a lot of parents out there. I'm an empty nester, so I'm not, I'm kind of a little bit beyond that right now in my life. But I've got grandchildren coming up, and I mean, thank goodness I don't have to raise them. I get to spoil my grandchildren, by the way.
There you go. Good
Sidebar.
deal.
Sidebar. But
Ryan, Dr. Z owns a bank.
stop. I don't know.
No, he does. He owns 10% of a bank.
Ryan Clay's. He's
It's called bankregent.com. It's a true thing, but he doesn't like to talk about
He's
it.
sometimes a little dramatic.
Bankregent.com.
Just,
Okay.
I'm sidebar. But I really just want to applaud what you're doing, and I want every parent or every future parent to understand that this is a huge problem. I've been dealing with it with some of my younger brothers. I have a big family, and some of my young brothers and what they're going through with their kids and all this new social media access that people have to them and what it can lead to. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Ryan, we're going to let you take this. We're going to let you into the show. You have the final word. You can share any tip, any advice, any notable, quotable, anything with our listeners. What say you, Mr. Ryan Dobson?
Oh, hoping something bad doesn't happen is not a plan. Actually, you got to get out there and do something for your family. And you can definitely do that. Go to homesafeseminar.com, sign your church up. We'll definitely come out and teach you what to do in the event of trouble happening.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And again, we thank you so much for joining us today.
Totally my pleasure. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You're awesome. Well done.
And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom! Stop what you're doing and think about this for a second. What would happen if your company was suddenly able to generate exponentially more quality sales leads? That would be incredible. What would happen if your company came up at the top or near the top of the Google search engine results?
Well, I would just feel overwhelmed with all that business.
How many thousands of dollars in lost sales or millions of dollars in lost sales are you missing out on simply because your potential customers can't find you when they go online to search for the products and services that you offer?
I refuse to think that thought because I don't want any more business.
Unless you are a dirty communist that hates money, my new book, Search Engine Domination, will help you grow your business. In my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate the search engine results.
What do you mean by dominate?
You see, in my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate search engine results. Download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com. I repeat, that's thebestseobook.com. ebook.com.
My name is Amy Baltimore, and I am a CPA in Covington, Tennessee. I've been working with the Thrive team now for about a year. One of the first things that they did was to update my website and my search engine optimization. I prior had a website, but I was not being found on Google, and all of my new business was coming through referrals from friends, family, etc. And right away I started to see results. People were calling and coming in saying that they found me on Google. They just Googled CPA near me, and there I was at the top of the page. And so it's been a great help to my business.
Again, you can download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com.
Hey, this is Dustin Huff. I'm with Keystone Harbor Marina. We joined Thrive back in January and have been working with these guys for about 7 months. During that time period, we have moved up our Google rank through reviews and SEO processes that we've compiled through these guys. Our leads have gone from about 4 a week to now 165 a week. So the process works. I will tell you from experience, once you begin, you have to stay with it. As long as you continually do this week in and week out, month in and month out, you'll continually grow.
The system works, but nothing works unless you do. You've got to take some action. Download the ebook for free today at thebestseobook.com.
Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air here in Amarillo, Texas. The way Google has affected my business, we have got a lot of calls from Google. Right now it's July, and we've had the best month ever. And it took us about 8 to 10 months to get on top of Google, and I'm glad we did.
Remember, nothing works unless you do. You have to go to thebestseobook.com today. Download the ebook for free. Just download that ebook for free, and you'll be off to the races.
Hi, my name is Christina Nemus. I'm the owner and operator of Angel's Touch Auto Body and Detailing in Bourne, Massachusetts. We have been working with Thrive and their coaching for, say, 8 to 9 months, and it took us about 6 months, 5 to 6 months to get on the top of Google, and with their help with the website and marketing, and the SEO and retargeting ads with Google, and it has been phenomenal. We just have light and day business coming in, phone calls coming in, walk-ins, referrals. It's just through the roof, and we couldn't be happier. At the moment, we are up 50% this year from the previous year, and not only is that part of our own hard work and diligence, but also with the help of Thrive and what they've done for us and getting us on the top of Google and, you know, all their knowledge and coaching. And yeah, so super grateful, super pumped to see what the future holds for all of us. Thank you.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. I'm here to tell you, you can do it if you can just motivate yourself. 12 the masses had to cut off a few, so on the daily you and I could rendezvous. A misshapen tree that I had to prune. I had to make cuts to be here daily at noon. So like a tidal wave of knowledge monsoon, I could rain on the parades of those who doubt in you. Are you the next Rockefeller or the next guru, or the next Dr. King who's changing the rules? Walls are in your way, will you run right through? Like a running back, force the one, it's up to you. I remember my days back in the dorm room, tuned to the gloom like the temple of doom, overwhelmed with the doubts that try to consume my hope for the future that I could pursue. But from the mountaintop now I can conclude that you have what it takes if you want the view to.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time. It's your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
This moment is profound because you're above the ground. Your road might have been rough, but what you got now is now. We're here to pick you up and to even show you how, but you gotta be resourceful with that old plow. Started from the bottom,
but I work my way up. Cause by 4 a.m. I always been prayed up. Rise and grind, now's your time, don't dare let up. You gotta get it, don't quit it till your seeds grow up.
This is your year to thrive.
Come on, come on.
Success you will find.
Yes.
Today is your day.
Somebody say.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
It's your year to thrive.
Come on, come on.
Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
It's your time.
Yeah,
We all have a wish and we all want to win, but we cannot begin without self-discipline. If you fall on your face, get yourself up again. Attach yourself to goals, not fail with the friends. When the storms get rough and they scatter and leave, you only be there with yourself and what you believe. We believe in you, but not as much as God does. If you're going through hell, He's got nothing but love. Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, and in due time you have money to burn.
Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, and in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you learn,
Sing it.
increase what you earn.
Yes.
In due time you got money to
With this typical miracle, I look to shout down the doubters. Kill the weeds that be killing your dream flowers. Empower you to devour all the obstacles that make your sweet dreams sour. As for me, I used to stutter, but now I'm on the microphone smooth like butter. If I can do it, I know you can too, but you must stick to it like postage do. And while Merton's on the chorus, singing what he sings, I encourage you to dream big dreams.
Today is your day.
Today's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
This is your year to thrive.
Sing it, sing it.
Success you will find. Today is your day.
It's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
Today is your day.
Come on.
And now is your time.
Sing it, Martin.
Today is your day. Now is your time.
I realize I can't sing like that, but I can talk and play the woodblock. Okay. If you guys need me, I'll just be over here.